So welcome everybody to the workshop, How to Feel Better with a Chronic Illness. And I just want you to reflect a little bit of what actually brought you here today. I'm taking it that you have got a chronic illness and you're not 100% well, healthy, and jumping up and down with vibrancy. This is really for you if you are looking for some answers, some ways that you can manage your own condition on your own way, and to take full responsibility for where you are currently. And this is a massive piece, really. So this workshop is really for you if you're willing to open your mind to what else is possible. And I'll be sharing some of my beliefs that I've established over my journey on managing my condition naturally. This is a word cloud which I formulated myself. I did a little bit of research around sort of 250 people in various different, they were MS groups, because MS is my challenge. And I asked people what their most challenging part of MS was. And the bigger the word, the more people that basically said that word. So fatigue is a big thing, mobility, but you can see all the other things in there. And I'm sure whether it's MS you've got or other autoimmune disease, you may have one or more of them that you're dealing with on a daily basis. So I'll just let you have a look at those for a second. So what happens when we get diagnosed, or when we're given a diagnosis of an incurable disease? What happens to our bodies? What happens to our psyche? What happens to our emotional response? Now, I don't know about you, but when I was diagnosed with MS in 2009, I was told by my neurologist that there was nothing that I could do about it to change anything. And I took that as truth because I trusted doctors. That has been, I live in the UK, we've got the NHS. The way the health system works is if you are ill, you go to the doctor probably gives you a pill or does some sort of magic and you get better. But actually, that's not quite true. And so part of what I want to share with you today is just shining a bit of a light on the paradigm of the doctor, if you like, and to suggest there are other truths that we could look at. But nonetheless, if you've been diagnosed with an incurable disease, it is a terrifying diagnosis. And it does take a lot of getting your head around and changing the way that you see the world. You are likely to get lots of random symptoms that may or may not be visible. You could be in pain. You could be sinking into a depression. You could be struggling with mobility and finding it difficult to walk. You might feel like you're sort of sitting now on the outside of life looking in, not able to join in the way that you once did. You also might have memory and cognitive issues, finding sometimes even just following a conversation or remembering simple things really difficult. So today I'm going to look at some of the things that we can do to help with all of these different things. Yeah, we could just go to the doctor, but our doctor doesn't have to live with our condition. And the majority of the time, we are offered very strong medication, which comes along with a medley of side symptoms that we may not, well, we definitely don't want. And then we're not sure, is that thing that's going on with this, is that the illness? Is that something else? Or is that the medication? And that uncertainty can lead to anxiety and worry as well. So who am I to be talking about this? Well, this is me taken a couple of years ago now when I did a photo shoot. So my hair's a little bit longer and a little less grey. And I was walking a little better, if I'm honest with you. So, and this was probably more at the beginning of my journey. So I started this journey of mine in around 5 years ago, and this was about 2 or 3 years into it, when I was making a real go of my coaching, and I wanted to get some photographs, high quality photographs, to help promote my business, really. Now, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, as I said, in 2009. And I consider myself quite lucky, really, because by the time that I got my diagnosis, the symptoms that I was experiencing had actually abated, had actually worn off. And the symptoms that I did experience was a bout of severe numbness in my legs and my hands. So while that was quite debilitating, and at the time was very frightening because I didn't know what I had, actually when I received the diagnosis, it didn't feel as scary as some of the things that were going through my head pre-diagnosis. And you might well recognize that sometimes our own fears are worse than the actual truth of what is. However, when my neurologist told me that I had an incurable disease, and also that there was nothing that I could do about it, that got firmly cemented into my subconscious as a truth and stopped me even looking for answers elsewhere. And it wasn't till about 6-7 years later that I started to, my symptoms started to get worse, and I started to notice them more. So the drug modifying therapy that I'd been given didn't seem to be working for me anymore. So I started looking outside of the medical profession for answers. And I discovered actually what I'd been told, you know, that I've got an incurable disease and that there was nothing I could do about it. And also that it was likely to get worse, wasn't actually true for everybody. And this realization shifted everything for me, really. So I want to, and when it started shifting, it really started shifting. And I realized that actually a lot of the things that I thought of as true in my life weren't actually true. And things that I thought that I had no control over, I recognized that I did have control over. So what do we actually, what do you actually want by coming here? What is your reason for being here? We've talked about some of the issues that you may have, but what would you really like? And I know when I've spoken to many, many people, a lot of people just say, I just want the MS to be gone. I just want it to be gone. And I don't know if it can ever be gone, but I do know it's possible to be symptom-free. And I do know that there is a lot that we can do about it, which is what this whole exercise really is all about. Oh, sorry, it's gone backwards. So this is a quote that came from my early coaching days as I was digging deeper and trying to find out how it was that I really wanted to help people. True freedom, and freedom was a big part of my life because I'd been in quite controlling relationships for, gosh, a good 20 years, and also in jobs that I really didn't feel free to be myself in. And there was a big part of me that was not being true to who I was. So to be able to be free was something that I really wanted. And as I started going through a transformation, and that's exactly what it was. It sounds really big, but it was a bit of a spiritual awakening. And it all came from getting really honest with myself, which is what this whole process is about. It allowed me to change. It allowed me to recognize the parts of my life that I could change. And that was immensely freeing and really exciting. So what I have shared with you in your email, you would have received the Get Honest Audit. And this is a page from the Get Honest Audit. Now, it is quite lengthy, so my apologies for that, but it is a bit of a deep dive into you. So as I said, when I went through my stuff and started recognizing that actually I could change a lot in my world, it was around getting honest. It was around getting honest in all aspects of your life. So what I've done with this self-audit is given you a bit of a framework so you can actually look at your own lives and do your own self-audit. So there is a few pages at the front of it which explains it, but I'll explain it to you now so that you can go through it with a bit more ease. So what you will see here, you've got your life area, and this life area is around beliefs. And I've put this as the first one because, as I said, this was a real game changer for me. And to recognize that what I'd been told by my doctor, who I trusted, wasn't actually true for everybody. And that's not saying my doctor was lying. From her point of view, it was her truth. But actually, when you start opening your mind, and that's what happened to me in this awakening process, it is an awakening process, you start to realize that actually things don't have to be the way that they've always been. And your beliefs is a big part of my work that I'm doing. But this is just to give you a guideline for where you are now. This isn't about saying whether you're right or wrong. It's not about judging what you think or where you are now. But it is quite worth noticing how you feel about the question. So this area of your life is your beliefs. And the question that I'm asking, what do you believe about your current condition or situation? And there's a little green box there that you can write a few words about what you currently believe. There's also a box to the right-hand side, which is asking you, how do you feel about this question? And what I'm really after here is there something that triggers you? Do you feel, as I ask the question, what do you believe about your current condition and situation? What do you feel in your body? Do you feel a tightness in your chest or churning in your stomach? Or do you feel an emotion coming up like anger or threat or fear of some sort? So again, this is just about noticing. It's not about judging, just about noticing, oh God, I've got a tenseness in my stomach when I ask that question. Interesting. And then just write that down. And then you've got a score of 0 to 10. So this is what we call in coaching a sliding scale question. So all I want you to do is score where you're at now, or where you think you're at now, on a scale of 0 to 10. And then I've given you some suggestions, and they are only suggestions of what 0 could be as opposed to what 10 could be. So 0 being the sort of lower end of the scale and 10 obviously being the top end of the scale. But this will give you a bit of a guide to how you are now. And it is only a suggestion. So if your version of 10 is very different, that's okay. So in this particular one, your beliefs, what do you believe about your current situation or condition? You believe 0 is things will never get better, there is no hope. Or 10, I'm excited to know that I'm at the exact place that I should be, and I'm open to opportunities that always showing themselves to me. So this, to me, is two ends of the scales with regarding to beliefs. So what I would like you to do then is just write what your current score is, where you feel you sit on that scale. And if that doesn't make sense, if you want to put some questions in the chat, and I'll make sure that we cover the questions at the end. But just for now, I'll go through the rest of the workshop because I can't actually see your chats when I'm sharing a screen. So it makes it a bit confusing. The next one I'll just go through with you as another example. So this is stress. So again, looking at your life currently, how much stress would you say you are currently experiencing? From a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is I'm feeling stressed all the time, I'm tight and I'm anxious, and I have real difficulty relaxing or enjoying anything. As opposed to 10, I can honestly say I rarely experience stress. I feel calm, relaxed and capable, even when things aren't going my way. So put your score in the box. You don't have to do this now. You can go back and reflect on it. I'm not going to go through every single one because there are 33. But the reason, I will tell you the reason for 33 later, but if you would like to just write a few words or a few sentences in the box about what stress means to you and how much you're currently experiencing. And again, how the question made you feel. So dip into your body and just feel if you notice any sensations when you ask the question, how much stress are you currently experiencing? So that is the self-audit and a bit of an explanation around it. So like I said, if you've got any questions, put them in the chat and I'll make sure that I revisit them at the end. Now, at the end of the audit, there is a consolidation page where you can put in all your scores where you are today. So here you can see all the different areas that we're going to be talking about. Now I've chose 33 different ones because 3 seems to be a bit of a magic number for me for this whole thing. I will explain that a little bit more later. So I've chosen 33 areas. I'm sure there are more. And the 33 areas do not stand alone. They link in together. So if you want to improve one area of your life, chances are if you do something to improve your stress, for example, it's likely to then also improve your self-love and your purpose and your crutches and all these different things. So I'll go through them in a moment, but this is just to give you a bit of an analogy. So if any of you do you know what a maypole is? And if anyone's ever seen a maypole, I couldn't find a photo of one that was royalty free at the moment. So, but the idea of a maypole is it has lots of ribbons at the top, and people dance around the maypole pole. And when they dance well and they dance in formation and they all work together, the maypole turns out into a beautiful pattern with all the ribbons. If, however, all the ribbons don't dance together very well and they get messed up and they're not in collaboration with each other, you'll end up with a big knot. So the way I'm looking at this is all the different areas of your life are like a maypole ribbon, and they all link in and they all connect with each other. And if we can get them all dancing together, then actually I do believe it's possible for us to live symptom-free. And I think getting honest in all these areas of your life, getting really honest. I mean, you don't have to show this self-audit to anybody else. So this is purely what you know, what's right for you. It's not thinking about other people and your family or your doctors or anybody else. It's getting really clear in what's inside. And I think that's the magic of this Get Honest process, really, that it allows you to do some deep reflection. It's not necessarily easy, but it is definitely worthwhile. So I will quickly go through the different areas. So we have beliefs and stress, which I went through on the first page. Then we've got nutrition, your food, toxins, how much toxins we are experiencing, spirituality, sleep, hydration, how much water do you drink? Just take a bit more. Movement, how much do you move on a daily basis? What's your exercise like? How much silence do you have in your life? And on the opposite end of that, how much screen time do you have? You know, we are now in a world of Zoom and computers and TVs and phones. And I do believe that screen time is not necessarily, good for us. But anyway, that's my judgment. So take judgment off the table and just be honest. Then we've got nature. How much time are you spending in nature? Self-love. What does self-love mean to you? And again, you know, when I ask these questions, remember to put, and especially if you have any extreme reactions, if you feel angry about it or upset or fearful or shameful, then put that in there, because this is amazing self-awareness that can all be helpful when you're going through this Get Honest process. The next one is energy, then purpose, joy, crutches. Now, what I mean by crutches, these are the things that we use to mask and hide. So they might be things like alcohol, smoking, drugs, shopping, sugar, food. There's lots of different things, but some things that we use to mask or hide what's really going on. Physical touch, how much physical touch is currently in your life? Sex, what is your sex life like? Boundaries, are your boundaries in place? Have you got any boundaries? What is your self-talk like? How do you speak to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? What are your relationships like, and particularly your intimate relationship? What is your relationship with money like? How much money do you have? How much money would you like? How much laughter is in your life? Relaxation, how do you relax? Family and friends, what are those like in your life? Connection, what does connection mean to you? Hobbies, what hobbies and interests do you have? Contribution, so this links into your work and your contribution. What do you do to contribute to the world around us, to your family? Children, what do children mean to you? And what are they in your life? Environment, what is your environment like? What's your home like? What's your car like? And then the last one, which is probably the most important one. So what is your relationship with yourself? How well do you know yourself? So these are 33 areas for you to take a look at. And once you've gone through the self-audit, if you enter what you've, all the numbers that you've put in here, so you can see at a glance which one is the lowest. And here you can put as your lowest. And I've also put another section for 33 days time and 3 months time. Again, like I said, for this process, three's been a bit of a magic number for me. So you can change that. It's not set in stone, but it just gives you an idea. So if you work on this today, or whenever you decide that you want to go through it, that will be your line in the sand for where you are currently. And what happens when people start going through this Get Honest process, it gets you thinking about the different areas of your life. Going through the self-audit isn't necessarily about making any changes. It's just being about really honest with where you are currently and what is going on in your life, what's important in your life, and also then starts getting you thinking about what 10 would look like for you. And then if you want to make some changes, and I've given you 3 suggestions at the bottom where you can, your focus and your action, where you can write in there some little goals for yourself. Now, I would suggest if you do want to make some changes in your life, then choose what I call the low-hanging fruit. Choose the things that are easy, a simple change. I mean, you might find that actually when you look at for example, your belief, let's look at the first one, and then you recognize that actually your belief about what your condition is not really helping you, is not really helping you very much. It's a belief. What is a belief? A belief is a thought that you've thought often enough that it is. That's just the way it is. But actually, everybody's beliefs are different because everybody's thoughts are different. So there's not one truth for everybody. So if you've got a belief that is not really serving you very well and not helping you move towards where you want to be, you can reframe it. You can change your belief. That is entirely possible. So that might be something that you want to work on. Actually, I'm going to shift that belief. Now, I can tell you from somebody who's been spending the last probably about 4 or 5 years working on my beliefs, there's a lot of deep-rooted beliefs that are in there. Beliefs come from our parents, they come from the society that we live in, they come from our own experiences and what we've seen and heard, they come from our schooling, they come from our religious education, they come from our government, they come from all sorts of places, but they're not necessarily all true. And they don't help us go where we want to go. And these are called limiting beliefs. So if you've got a belief that is limiting you, is stopping you moving forward, it's definitely worth looking at. So that's just a suggestion. There could be another one, screen time, for example. You might ascertain that actually your screen time is quite a lot and you would like it to be a bit less. So maybe you could put a little something in place so you have some screen-free time, or you turn the Wi-Fi off at a certain time or something like that. So there are some simple things that you can do to make some changes. And the thing is, when we make little changes and we make them consistently, it changes the trajectory of our life. So personally, I'm still struggling with my walking at the moment, but I am determined that I am going to manage it, and I'm going to do my best to manage it. And that includes exercising. So in my head, it makes sense that if I do some exercises every day, I am going to be in a better place in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 3 years' time, than if I don't do any exercises at all. So something is better than nothing. So if you've done your Get Honest audit and this is the way that your life is going, by making some little changes, they don't have to be big ones, little ones, but actually you end up in a much different place as your trajectory changes. So it's worthwhile thinking about. Which then brings me on to my Get Honest 33. What do I mean by Get Honest 33? Obviously, 3 is the magic number. I've done 33 areas of your life, and the audit's all around 33. However, doing the audit, like I said, it might trigger you, you might find it challenging. So I wanted to offer some support in moving people through it and allowing them to maybe open their minds a little bit to what is possible. So I've created a little program which I'd like to share with you, and it's called Get Honest 33. And it is going through the ABC of getting honest. So I'm just going to talk through that to you now, because it's a bit of a process that I went through, or I'm still going through, if I'm honest. And it's very simple, can't get more simple than ABC. And this is what it's talking about. So A is acceptance. So acceptance is trusting and knowing that where you are currently is exactly where you are meant to be. Everything that's happened in your life so far has brought you to this moment. And as soon as we can fully accept that this is where we're meant to be, it gives us such a powerful place to step off from. If we're in a place of life is crap, I feel like a victim, it's all too hard, you know, I don't like it, it's not fair, then it takes away our power. So acceptance is not an easy thing to work through and do, but it is amazingly powerful. And it's allowed me to see the possibility over, you know, what could happen. And it's just really incredible. So I will help you accept where you are currently. And if that's triggering you in any way, great, because there will be some things that trigger you. And I don't want to trigger you, and I don't want to make you angry. That is not the point of it at all. But it's just recognizing that when we get triggered, it is our subconscious trying to keep us safe. It's our ego trying to keep us safe and not make any changes. Because even though we might not like our current situation, we're still alive and we're still breathing. So it's been helpful for us up to that point. And there's always going to be some sort of secondary gain from being in the situation. So, for example, I have MS and my walking is challenging, so I walk with a stick. So my secondary gain, if I'm really honest, is that I don't have to even try and run any marathons or do anything like that. And it also means that people are more understanding and accepting if I can't do things. So it almost gives me permission not to try so hard. And that is me being really honest about me. So acceptance is a big piece. The B of the ABC is your beliefs, and we've talked a bit about beliefs already. But this is around, again, being really honest, looking inwards and observing without judgment. And that's not easy either, because we tend to beat ourselves up a little bit. And our self-talk, so when you do the self-talk part of the Get Honest audits, you know, be really honest with what your self-talk is like, because it takes a lot of practice to observe it and change it. And I know, because I'm still doing it, and you know, I still have moments I'm a lot better, but yeah, we still beat ourselves up. Oh God, Ginny, you're such an idiot. Oh God, fancy forgetting that. Oh God, that's my MS brain, I can't think properly. You know, whatever it is that you say to yourself and others about yourself is really telling about what you believe about yourself. And then once you've worked on the acceptance and the beliefs, C is about changing and making those changes. And interestingly, once you've worked on the acceptance and the belief, making the changes is a lot easier than you think it might be. I've also done a lot of work on behavioral change, behavioral science, and habit evolution to support my learning, and I'm forever learning about it. It's fascinating the way our our subconscious and our psyche works, and what we tell ourselves and what we believe, and how that affects our reality as it is. So it is possible to change our reality. I know it is, because I'm doing it. It's where I've come from over the last 5 years is really quite incredible. No, I'm not living symptom free, and that is definitely an aim, but I am living free. I'm living on my terms. I'm not in a job that I don't like. I'm not in a relationship that doesn't serve me. I have a fantastic relationship with my kids and with my ex-partner, and I've done all this through this ABC process, really. So what will Get Honest 33 give to you? And I had to think about this, and there's much more than what is on this little sticky. But what can I promise you? I promise you it will make you feel better. You will feel better as a result of going through it. I don't think that is, I think that is inevitable. You will feel better. I haven't gone through this program with anyone else. I've gone through a different version of it with a few people, and they've definitely felt better. And you will make some beneficial changes. And again, that's definitely the results that I've seen with my previous clients. You will feel more optimistic, and life will just feel easier. It will be easier. So how? So back to my 3. Back to my 3 is the magic number. So this is 33 areas of your life that is possible to change. And you've seen those. You've got the self-audit. So you can go through this and do this work yourself. However, if you would like some help with it, then I am putting together a group of 33. So 33 participants. And I'm going to be spending 33 days with you, day on day. And in those 33 days, I'm going to encourage you to look at all the different areas in a bit more depth and make just 3 life changes. You can make more than 3, but we're just going to focus on 3 to move forward. I guess you're going to be really surprised at the price point of £333 per person, 33 pence even. So this is an offer to you if you would like some help going through with the Get Honest process. So we can spend 33 days together with 33 other people, 32 other people, in order for you to get really honest with your life and make some significant changes. Now, what you get for your money, what you get for your buck here, let me just, I want to move my head out of the way. You will get access to a private Facebook group and have the support of a compassionate and non-judgmental community of people who are on a similar journey. And I don't know if you've ever worked in a group program before, but it is immensely powerful to be sharing your breakthroughs and your wins and your challenges and your failures, and there's no such thing as failure, of course. Well, there is, but we learn from it every time. And we have to have a community of people that know where you're coming from, who are speaking the same language, who are going to support you every step of the way, is immensely powerful. So we'll have access to the Facebook group and meeting all the other people. Every day for the 33 days, I will be going live in the group with some training. If I don't go live, I'll have a recording. So I'm going to be going through the 33 areas in a bit more depth. So I'm going to be talking about all the different areas and talking about maybe some of the things maybe you haven't thought about. And this is when the community comes in as well and say, hey, I've done this, I've tried this, what about this? And this is just about opening your mind to what else is possible. I will also include some meditations, because meditation has been the crux of what I've been doing, and And it takes part in so many different areas of the Get Honest audit, of those areas of your life. You know, if you develop or improve your meditation practice, it helps relieve stress. It gives you more silence. It helps you get clear on your purpose and your passion. It helps you relax. So it ticks so many boxes. And it also helps you heal. Now, I know that sounds big, but actually, if we get back to what I was saying at the beginning, when you're given that diagnosis of an incurable disease, what happens inside your body is that you go into fear. It's terrifying. You've got this horrible, terrifying disease that is likely to get worse. There is no cure, and there's nothing you can do about it. What a hopeless place to be, and how scary that is. And what happens inside our bodies is we get an enormous amount of cortisol flooding through us because our fight or flight has been activated. You've got this danger, you've got this danger. And if we're living in chronic stress, then our body is not healing. Because when we're going into fight or flight and the cortisol takes over, it's getting ready to run for our lives or fight for our lives. And if we're in chronic stress and we experience stress all the time, our body's not able to heal or feel better. So actually, by incorporating meditation into your life, or if you've already done that, improving meditation in your life can actually help you heal and support your immune system with its own healing. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there. So yeah, so that's the daily lives with training and additional meditation. I will also be having weekly question and answer calls. So these will be done on the Zoom platform. So you can all come in, and we will have them at different times, depending who I've got in the group, where they are in the world. So we'll have them at different times. So people have the opportunity to get on if they want to come on live. You will have the recordings of the Q&As in the groups as well. So if you're not able to attend live, or it doesn't matter, because everything will be in the group, so you can go and look at what's in there and learn and find out as you go in your own time. And then you'll have all the support you need via Messenger and through the Facebook group from myself as well. So if you have any questions, you have any problems, then you can just feel free to ask. So why would you not do this? I mean, to me, obviously, I've written the course, and I think it's, well, I just think it's life-changing. And it is life-changing. That's certainly been my experience. And I will share some of my testimonials when I get my act together and actually put them in one place where you can see what's already there. In fact, I'll share a link to my testimonial page on my website where you can see some of my clients and what they've experienced. I've got a lovely video from one of my recent clients, but I need to edit it and put that into and just cut it down a bit. But here I just want to address some of the reasons why. I mean, you might have already just tuned off and thinking, Gina, this is like complete boulder dash. So why wouldn't you come and get honest? And I've come up with 3 reasons. Oh, look, there's the magic number again. 1, it's too expensive. 2, it's too hard. And 3, it takes too long and it takes too much effort. So I just want to address those really, because £333.33 is a reasonable amount of money, definitely. Is it too expensive? Well, that is debatable depending where you are on your money story, and depending how much money you've got in the bank, and depending how open you are to investing in yourself. Because if you've never invested in yourself before, then £333.33 on a program that will make you feel better is a little bit, nondescript. So I have got something to counteract that, because I am very, very sure that you will feel better, and it will be tangible, because you'll have the Get Honest audit to say where you are when you started and where you are when you finish. So this is your judgment. Nobody's going to look over your shoulder and say, no, I think you're one above that. But if you get to the end of, if you've signed up, if you've paid, if you've gone through the 33 days and worked through some of the stuff that we've worked through, and if you feel at the end of 33 days that it hasn't been worth the £333, 33 pence, then come and have a chat with me, and I'll be very happy to give you your money back, because I don't think that will happen. But, you know, absolutely, I don't want you to be spending money that you don't think it's worth it. What I am looking for at the end of this is 33 people that are feeling at least 33% better. We're going to go for numbers, because I think it's possible. Because I know from my own journey, you know, I may not be living symptom-free yet, but oh my God, I am so much feeling better on every aspect of my life. And it almost ceases to matter a little bit of what my symptoms are, because now I'm in a place where I trust that I'm learning more, and every challenge is a learning opportunity. And that's not just rhetoric, that's totally what I believe, because I've worked on my beliefs, and having those beliefs just make my life easier, more fun, more enjoyable. So for the too expensive, yes, it may seem like a lot of money depending where you're at and what your bank account looks like, but compared to holidays, compared to a lot of other personal development programs, compared to personal coaching, compared to a gym membership, compared to, I don't know what even is Netflix or Amazon Prime, you know, if you compare them all to your food intake, you know, what you drink, maybe what you smoke, it's not really that much. So have a little think about whether you think, and this could be part of your Get Honest thing as well, about the money, where you think you are on the scale with money at the moment. Because money, I'm doing a lot of work on as well. Money is a great big energy that we're all sucked into with beliefs, and it is possible to change, and I am out to prove that. I'm still on that journey, but yeah, we're all on the journey. So too hard, that's the second one. So too expensive was the first one. Too hard, I'd be lying if I said it was easy peasy lemon squeezy. It isn't. And that is why I've created this space, so you're not doing it on your own. You've got 33 people supporting you on your journey. And one of them is me, who's already gone through it and is several steps ahead of you. And I will be supporting you every step of the way and making sure it doesn't feel that hard. And it's like anything. Once you get practiced at it and start looking inwards and noticing how you're feeling and what you're thinking, it gets easier. It becomes an easier process. So practice makes progress. And then we've got the last one. It's take too long, or it's too long-winded. Well, 33 days is just over a month, so it's not really that long. Again, this is perspective. How long is long? You know, is it going to take some effort? Yes, of course it's going to take some effort. But what you find is once you start on this journey and start looking inwards, then actually you get ahas, you get wins, you get incredible insights, and it just becomes, the momentum builds and it just becomes enjoyable. So does it take too long? No, you're going to want to continue and continue, I imagine. If you would like to feel better, irrespective of any diagnosis, then it is time to get honest. And if you would like some support and help and assistance with that process, then working with a coach and a group of like-minded people is the best place that you can be. So if this sounds like you, don't delay. Sign up while there is still time and while there is still space. There are only 33 places maximum. And if you sign up and pay before the end of August, you will also get a free hour-long intention setting session with me on a one-to-one, which you will find really beneficial and start opening your eyes to what is possible. The group program will start on the 3rd of October, so just be aware of that. Come and join us. There is a full money back guarantee if you really don't feel any better after the sessions, but I think that you will. In fact, I know that you will. So I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in October. Before that, for the intention setting, providing you sign up before the end of August.